You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. I'm Mo Kelly, and I'm not with you until midnight tonight. Proud to say that I'll only be with you until 10 o'clock as we try to get back to somewhat of a regular life here, at least at KFI. Not in any way diminishing what the city is going through, just as far as programming goes. We'll just be with you until 10 p.m. tonight. And yesterday, I didn't know that I started something. I really started something. I was telling this story just kind of matter-of-factly, offhand, about getting multiple emergency alerts. And I guess I wasn't the only one. That's what we found out yesterday. What I didn't know is that the emergency alerts seemingly kept coming for a number of people across Southern California well into the night and early into Friday morning. Mark, you're nodding your head. Did you receive some of them? I didn't.
I got one at 4 a.m. that nearly made me jump out of my skin, but I was still awake at 4 a.m.
Okay, well, at least you weren't in the shower this time.
It'll happen.
Stefan, did you receive any other emergency alerts to evacuate?
I did not. Nope, not over here.
I did not know that this happened, and when I saw the story today in the LA Times, I went back and looked at my phone. I didn't receive any of the alerts, but if you don't know what we're talking about, yesterday I was saying as I was driving in around 3:58 p.m., I received an emergency alert on my phone to evacuate. And I'm thinking, like, I don't know of any fire in the Inglewood area. I don't know of any fire or any type of pending issue in my area. And I pulled over and I said, what the hell is going on? And the alert says, for more information, go to alertla.org, something like that. I hit the link because there was a link in the emergency alert message. The website wouldn't open. I said, great. So I still don't know what's going on. About 19 minutes later, say about 4:19 p.m., I got a secondary alert, which basically said, oops, my bad. Just kidding. Don't worry about it. Disregard. It literally said disregard the previous alert.
Oops, my bad. I think maybe they want to work the bugs out of this program at some point.
But think about that, Mark. How long have we been receiving these alerts? It could be silver alerts. It could be amber alerts. We now have ebony alerts. We have all these alerts. This was the Super Bowl of alerts. You talk about having one job. It's like Paul Revere. Paul Revere had one job to let us know about the British. Let us know that the regulars are coming. I know he didn't say the British are coming. I'm just saying he only had one job, is to let everyone know that the British were coming. And the emergency alert system, those text alerts had one job, to let us know if we were in danger.
Yeah, there are no apocryphal stories of Revere going back the other way through town saying, disregard, please disregard.
It's just the French. I thought it was the British, but it was actually the French. Come to find out, a bunch of alerts happened over the course of the night. In fact, people were awakened in the middle of the night, unless you're Mark Ronner.
3:57. I just looked it up.
3:57? Mm-hmm. And did you panic? Because I panicked to a certain degree when I got mine in the middle of the day. I can only imagine what it would have been in the middle of the night, especially if you were startled and you think like, oh my gosh, I have to leave now. I'm in immediate danger, because the alerts say leave now.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to send an alert that causes me to clutch my chest and lose control of my bladder, please make it accurate.
Quote, I can't express enough how sorry I am for this experience, close quote. That was Kevin McGowan, the director of the Los Angeles County Office of Emergency Management. Yeah, I know, Kevin, you're sorry. I know it wasn't intentional. I know that was not your intention, but damn, if there's anything which has to be accurate, you can't have any mistakes. It's in the emergency alerts, which are going out by text message. And now they're just going out willy-nilly. It's just going out at all hours of the night, going to random people, having nothing to do with where they are, having nothing to do with where the fire is. And I said yesterday, the worst consequence of all this is that people will eventually stop paying attention because they can't trust the information. And I said, I tried to check the website both times I received the alert. The website didn't open. And now I don't know if that's because of the thousands of other people who are also probably trying to access the website at that particular moment. That's a problem. Or was it the website was down for having nothing to do with the amount of people trying to access it? That would be a problem. But the bottom line is I could not get any real information. The alert didn't give me accurate information. I couldn't open up the website to get any accurate information. All I got was an oops, my bad. And then it turned into a Britney Spears song. Oops, I did it again.
Yeah, I wound up using the far-flung futuristic technology of walking outdoors and checking for myself.
That's what I had to do when I pulled over. I mean, I did a visual scan of the air, and then I saw the usual suspects. Okay, I can see that's the Hollywood Hills still on fire. I can see the Palisades still burning, but I'm looking something that's in immediate proximity, and I couldn't find anything. I'm glad. When I say I'm glad, this is a selfish gladness. I'm glad that I wasn't awakened at 4 a.m. after being at work until midnight. I wasn't awakened at 4 a.m. for another false alarm. What the hell is going on? You would think. This is the Super Bowl of emergencies, unfortunately. That's the only thing I can liken it to. This is the one time where everything matters. Absolutely everything matters, especially in the dissemination of information. And you're trying to make sure that people have the accurate information so they can get themselves and their family, their pets, and maybe some personal belongings to a safer location. And now I don't know what to believe. I don't know what to do. If I get an emergency alert, should I take it seriously or wait for the oops, I'm bad? Just kidding. Do I have to wait for 2 sets of alerts? Do I have to wait like, okay, here's the first one. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Do I count to 5,000? And if I get to 5,000, I don't get a second alert, then I can move on with my life? Is it almost like you have the sirens for the earthquake for like the tornado warning? It doesn't mean that the tornado is going to hit you, but there's a warning. Should we not take these things seriously anymore? I don't know what I'm supposed to do. There's an old saying my mother would say, she would still say it. Am I supposed to shite or go blind? Is it one of the, I can't do both. Can't do both. I need to know what my instructions are. I will follow the marching orders. I just need them not to conflict with each other.
I love that old homespun wisdom.
Oh, it is. It's very applicable. And she would still say it today, but far more vulgar. There are few people on this earth who are as vulgar as my mother. I cuss. My mother could cuss a Navy sailor under the table, and the Navy sailor would be embarrassed. Like, oh my goodness. Oh,
I feel like I love her already.
Oh, Mrs. O'Kelly.
You've been keeping her from me.
Such language. No, she is someone to this day I always worry about in public. Because she can drop an MF'er in a heartbeat on anyone. And obviously, as we all get older, we care even less. She cares not at all. I'll walk in the house. Who is that mother father you were talking to?
Oh, I need to spend time with her.
Oh, yeah. Look, did you meet her at El Camino? Did you have a chance to talk to her?
Well, we didn't. There was no quality time. I mean, it was frenetic.
Oh, my goodness. She can outcuss anyone I have ever met. She swears she got it from her father. But I don't believe that. I just think that she's just a profane prodigy.
When we are off the air, I'll tell you my mom's favorite expletive. God bless her soul.
Is it just one word? Is it a compound word?
I don't want to get into it. But as a young child, it'll cause your head to whip around.
Speaking of being a young child, when we come back on the other side of the break, we got to talk about this air quality. For me, I was having flashbacks of the late 1970s when I was a kid. And I don't know if that was true for you, Mark Ronner, up in Washington, but we had very poor air quality here in Southern California, late 1970s, early 1980s, because of smog. And this moment with the fires and the ash, Of course, it's worse than that, but it reminded me of that time. So when we come back, we'll get into the smoke, the poor air quality, and how that's impacting your health and my health and everyone else's health, even though we may not be in an impacted zone.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Mr. Mo Kelly here, KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And it was reminiscent of when I was maybe 7, 8 years old. You had these smog alerts. You had these alerts which said that you couldn't let the kids go outside on the playground during recess, or you would play in the summer and your chest would start hurting at the end of the day. I don't think we really understood how poor our air quality was in LA, specifically back in the late 1970s, early 1980s. If you're driving north on the 110, you could see downtown. There would just be this brown haze over downtown, extending into the mountains, into the hills behind downtown. And that was just Tuesday. It was a natural way of life, and things got better thanks to the EPA and state regulations, and our air is a lot better. But given the fires of late, it kind of reminded me of that. And also how dangerous, and here's the point, how dangerous this poor air quality can be for you, me, pets, especially elderly relatives. If you have any type of comorbidities like high blood pressure or even diabetes, or if you happen to be obese, this air is very dangerous, to say the least. Now, you may not know that, but the wildfire smoke, it's a mixture of gases and fine particulate matter. And what is being burned is vegetation, it's wood structures, it's metal melting, and all sorts of hazards. You have carbon monoxide, you have carbon dioxide, hydrocarbons, particulate matter, as I said, benzene, acetylene, aldehydes. This is all according to the CDC, but it's bad, singularly and when put together. Quote, wildfires emit very high levels of particulate matter, which can have significant effects on human health, particularly those who have pre-existing disease, including diabetes, hypertension, and obesity. Yeah, that's what I said. That's according to Lauren Wold of the CDC. And, Lauren Wold, who is a member of Ohio State University's College of Medicine. And the smoke can also have a big impact on your lungs. Let me take you back to 1979, 1980. Remember playing all day in the street, or just going about your daily life? Maybe you were going to work, and then at the end of the day, your chest would hurt. You could just feel it. You could feel the smog in your body. And we took that for granted. But it has, back then and even now, especially with the smoke, it has a big impact on your lungs, on your pet's lungs. And if you have any type of issue, breathing issue, it makes it far worse. If you have, COPD or asthma, chronic lung disease, or congestive heart failure, all those things, this type of irritation can make it even worse. And even if you are completely healthy in a cardiovascular sense, this does not help at all. And also this, and I didn't know this, high levels of particulate matter, not even talking about the gases, but specifically the particulate matter, can affect your heart, which obviously means increasing blood pressure, and can cause sudden cardiac events like a heart attack. So this air can kill people, no exaggeration. Quote, exposure to elevated particulate matter levels long-term can cause changes in heart function similar to patients with heart disease. That's Lauren Wold again. And as I was driving in, I find that I spend most of my time in my head driving in. Most times, and it's about a 22-mile drive, I don't have the radio on. I'm just in my thoughts. I'm thinking about the show. I'm thinking about my world around me. I'm thinking about my place in it, and just kind of having a philosophy discussion with myself. I'm weird like that. But as I was driving in today, I noticed a guy who was out jogging, exercising in this really bad air, but was conscious enough to wear a bandana around his face. So I guess he thought that he was not going to be breathing in, the worst of the particulate matter. I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe you ought to just go ahead and use a Stairmaster indoors or something, or just get on the treadmill. But if you're going to run outside, that little bandana is just not going to help you. It kind of defeats the purpose. After a certain point, you need to sit your ass down.
I swear, in every natural disaster, there's some thrill seeker out doing something like that. You always see it.
You always see it. And I'm thinking, like, okay, you're supposedly concerned about your health in the sense of the need to exercise. You're out there because you think the cardiovascular activity is good for your health, big picture. But that's almost like running a marathon around a volcano. Who the hell is going to do that? Why would you do that? Why would you subject your body to that in this type of, I can't even say weather, but just, air quality?
Yeah, I think during the apocalypse, you can skip a workout.
Or just be smarter about it. Go to an indoor gym where they have air purifiers or something like that. If it's that damn important. It was something I was thinking about. I wanted to take out my dogs for a walk. I took them out for like a 5-minute walk yesterday. And we have a brand new air purifier in the house because my wife, she had a credit card and, bad intentions. So she just started buying up everything, just everything that we might need in the case of a nuclear attack and everything, just buying stuff. And part of that haul was the air purifier. It's big. It's noisy. I'm not even sure it's effective, but it makes a whole lot of noise just to trick people.
Put the dogs on the treadmill. They might not even know the difference.
No, we try. We try to put them on the treadmill and put it at a very low speed to see if they will stay on. They hate it.
You couldn't con them into it. I keep seeing Instagram videos of cats on treadmills. So if you can teach a cat to do it, you can teach a dog.
No, that's not true. Not true. I love my dogs and I love dogs. I don't think that they are smarter than cats when it comes to technical aptitude. For example, you can teach cats how to open doors, like those latch of doors. They can do that.
Yes, they're devious.
Yeah, dogs, no. And cats have a great ability to problem solve as far as climbing on things and making a way to get things. They're very smart. They're diabolical. They're evil.
Well, hang on. Just
What?
Pump the brakes there, Chief.
What? Did I say something that was untrue?
Cats are wonderful, and I will not hear your cat slander on this day.
Okay. Well, do they know not to run outside in this type of air quality?
They can get momentarily thrown off balance by certain events, like all of us.
Yes. Well, the bottom line is be very careful how you choose, where you choose, when you choose to go outside to do any type of vigorous activity. Even though you may not be physically close to the fires or the smoke, just know that the air quality, I'm just guessing here, in just the 20-mile radius of any of these major fires, you are breathing in some of that particulate matter, the smoke, the diminished air quality, and depending on who you are, any type of comorbidities that you have, they can be exacerbated. It can be made worse. It can make smaller health issues larger, and you don't need to compound the issues that you already have. Look, Mark and me, we always have to try to keep our blood pressure down. We're
in the wrong business for that.
I know.
In case you were wondering.
No, I think about that as well. It's like I try to emotionally distance myself from a lot of what goes on in the world, because if you internalize it, you wouldn't be able to live. You wouldn't be able to function.
I care too much, Mo. I just care too much.
I care a lot as well, but I still try to keep a degree of professional distance. As I talk about, let's say in a general week, I may talk about politics. I may talk about crime. I can't get so emotionally invested that I lose my perspective. It's almost like from what it was explained to me, it's almost like you're a doctor. You're going to lose patience. If you're a police officer, or any type of first responder, you're not going to be able to save everyone. And for you to be able to do that job and do it well, you have to have a degree of professional distance.
Or alcohol and drugs.
Well, sometimes it leads to both. Sometimes it's unavoidable. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not recommending that to people.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
We've all got our ways of coping.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI Mo Kelly, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Last night we were telling you about some eateries, restaurants, which were giving away food to evacuees and first responders. We told you the story because I'd mentioned Sizzler. Certain Sizzler locations were giving away free meals, and it reminded me of how I dined and ditched at Denny's and how I still need to make amends. Well, we need to pick up on that as far as things that you can do. Services that you can use and places you can go to eat to help get you through, at least in the short term. We told you about the different restaurants yesterday. Now we're going to tell you about housing. And we mentioned Airbnb. Airbnb is working with 211 LA, which serves LA County, to offer free temporary housing. We said it before. Say it again. And the Airbnb stays are completely free for guests and are funded by Airbnb and its hosts, many of whom offer their home for free or at a discount through Airbnb. Additionally, Big Bear is offering deep discounts for lodging and for $25 dining vouchers for any Snow Summit or Bear Mountain on-site restaurants. For more information, you can go to bigbear.com. And there's another component to all of this. It's not just about physical safety. It's not just about whether you have food to eat, but there's also an emotional safety or an emotional insecurity. Mental health is definitely part of this. It's trauma. It's emotional trauma. And if you or a loved one happen to be struggling with a mental health crisis related or unrelated to the events of the past few days, maybe you're considering even suicide, heaven forbid, you can call or text 988 and you can get information as far as suicide prevention services, which are available to you free of charge, just so you can get some help and get you through this time right now. Of course, if you're in immediate danger, never hesitate to call 911. But also, we had a caller the other day saying that they were trying to get information and they were calling 911 to get information. I do not recommend that because 911 is for immediate emergencies, and you are taking away resources if you're just looking for information. Each police department has a non-emergency line, so I would look that up. I can't tell it to you because it varies by police department, but you can get information through the police department and not call 911 and tie up their lines and tie up their services and what have you. Because oftentimes, I don't think people know this, if you call 911 and if it's not clear that you're not in an emergency, they're going to send an officer to your residence to make sure that you're okay. And you may not have requested that, but you don't want to pull any more from the resources that are already being pulled and spread amongst the county. You don't want to do that. So do not call 911 unless you are in immediate danger and you need that level of assistance. The Los Angeles County Access Center is open and operational 24/7 and as the entry point for mental health services, information, and referrals. That's another example. You don't need to call 911 if you're having a mental health emergency or you need some sort of information. You can call 800-854-7771. Let me say it again. 800-854-7771. And you can also dial the Disaster Distress Helpline at 800-985-5990. Or you can text the phrase "talk with us," no spaces, to 66746. And we don't expect you to remember all this. That's why we got a podcast. You can go back and listen to it on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you download podcasts or you listen to Later with Mo Kelly more generally. Discovery Cube is offering free Children's Museum admission through Friday, January 10th. The museum is open Thursday until 5 p.m. and Friday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And I didn't get a chance to say good evening to you, Twala. You were running around handling the unfortunate business of the unfortunate business.
Yeah. Yes. And it is settling. It is settling. And, my family is extremely fortunate. We found out today that our house is still standing. The structure is still standing. But
what does that mean, though?
It means that we have the ability to return to the area once the all clear is given in the area to potentially go in and get hard objects, pitchers, dishes, things like that can be readily cleaned. But things like the couches, rugs, clothing, anything like that, we were advised leave it.
But the house is not inhabitable, is it?
No, the house right now as it stands is not inhabitable. And because of the smoke saturation and things of that nature, it likely will not be inhabitable anymore. Will likely have to be torn down. It is literally just one of, I believe he said, 4 houses on the entire block that are still standing.
Either side of the street.
Either side of the street, all the way down the street. And we live on not a cul-de-sac, but a throughway cul-de-sac. So it starts on one street, curves around and and comes back over to ours. And everything is gone. He said, literally everything in that neighborhood is gone. He said, your house is clear that it's experienced some heat. The walls have clearly been affected. So you definitely will need an inspector to come in, just to see if anything's salvageable, but the recommendation is it's not salvageable at this moment. That and the houses next to will likely have to be torn down. But to be able to go in and get some of those things that we were not able to get, that we had to just make that decision to leave behind. Unfortunately, to my chagrin, my cassette collection may likely be destroyed along with my VHS collection.
My wife was asking me about that this morning because for those who don't know, we used to kid Twala about all of his analog media that he had from literally decades ago. And we're saying you might want to update that, not to rub it in, but we're saying you might want to update that. And my wife, we were going up to the wedding.
Yep.
We're going up to the wedding for producer Kiana. And we had this conversation between our cars, and my wife had purchased for you an analog recorder. We could start, it had a digital input where you could start making that transfer process. I say all that to say she was asking about your analog media today, whether you were able to save any of it.
I just have one case of cassettes that I managed to grab. And I'm mad because I did not grab the cassette recorder that she got for me. But La Mujer, I have used the life out of that cassette recorder to just listen back to those old air checks. It took me back to a really, really good time, a really fun time in music radio. And I treasure that device. And it's just one of those things that as I'm running around, and I had it in my hands and I put it out and said, okay, I'm going to put that in my secondary pile. Like I need to get medicine. I need to get immediate clothing and some things like that first. I'll come back. And then I never was able to go back. So that's still sitting in there. I hope that has not been damaged because I still have a case of cassettes that I cannot wait to press play on.
Well, our fingers are crossed for you and your family. The house may be a total loss, but the situation is not a total loss.
No.
That makes sense.
No, absolutely not.
KFI AM 640. When we come back, we have more information to share with you about how you can get help, where you can find food and other care resources, and also how people who are listening right now who want to help, how you can help. We'll give you that as well on the other side.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI Mo Kelly, live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app as we continue to talk about not only the fires, but also how people are impacted by the fires, I would say the ancillary issues, the smoke and the particulate in the air quality, things that we all have to deal with regardless of whether we're living in an impacted area or not, whether we've been evacuated or not. We have to deal with this air. We probably, at this point, no one should be able to say that they don't know anyone impacted by this. I mean, you must not live in California, know nobody in California if you don't know someone who has been impacted, either evacuated, lost their house, both. Someone should be within your sphere of influence who has been impacted by this. And that's why we're giving out this information, because maybe you don't have any use for it, but you can direct someone to it. Someone could use it. And that's why we've been talking about where if you happen to be an evacuee, you can go get food. You can get maybe a shower. I remember talking about Planet Fitness, how they've opened up their gyms. UFC, they've opened up their gyms. These are things that people need. I mean, I haven't been displaced, but I've heard the stories of how a shower can make a world of difference, because it gives you some sense of normality. It gives you some sense of dignity. It gives you some sense that you are still a person. These things matter, and that's why it matters that we tell this to you. And there are other places where you can get food and clothing and services.
And there are a number of resources for victims impacted by these fires, whether it's food, water, a place to charge your phone, your devices, shower, or housing. Here's what's available right now. Those in need of food and water, the LA Regional Food Bank has a 2025 fires page on their website. Click the Find Food tab and type in your zip code to find your local food pantry. They are accepting donations.
Right now, it's more grocery product, and we're also focusing on ready-to-eat items like, fruit, apples.
All Planet Fitness locations in Southern California have opened their doors as a place to take a shower, get clean water, use power to charge phones, and relax in their lounges.
That's open to the public. Anyone that's been displaced, certainly first responders, and anybody that needs assistance right now.
Airbnb.org is partnering with 211 LA to provide emergency temporary housing. This is the form you can fill out by visiting 211la.org. You will get an email when you've been approved.
They have a basic screening process, and based on that, you'll get some credits to book an Airbnb for about 7 days, and you get to choose the Airbnb that you go to meet your family's specific needs.
211 is your go-to source for almost anything. Dial 211 or visit 211la.org. They are certified information referral specialists, and they will help you vet emergency resources and help answer questions like these.
How to navigate, either my home was lost or damaged. How do I report that? How do I access the different programs that are becoming available? Because now FEMA's involved. We can help make those connections for people.
And through FEMA, fire victims may be financially eligible for essentials like food, water, baby formula, medication, and housing needs like hotel rooms, rental assistance, and property losses. You can apply for FEMA assistance 3 ways: by visiting disasterassistance.gov, using the FEMA app, or through the FEMA helpline by dialing 1-800-621-3362.
A lot of information there. Maybe you didn't get it all the first time. Maybe you came in on the tail end of it or tail portion of it. It's going to be part of the podcast. In fact, Twala Sharp is putting it together right now. So if you don't already follow Later with Mo Kelly, it makes it real easy. Just go ahead and start following us on the iHeartRadio app. And then you have the episodes automatically downloaded. You'll have the information available for you 24/7. It'll be easy to find, and then you're not relying upon just waiting by the radio or having to hunt everywhere to find it. This is real important information. Places to eat, places to shower, places where you can rest, places that you can recharge your devices. All this is very, very important, and I know that information is going to help someone, probably someone if it is not you as well. KFI AM 640, we're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio.